good, y'all? Today's topic is one managers cannot avoid. The challenge behind pay, transparency, and pay equity.
Good, y'all. Today we are here with Jameer,
Nasir,
Terry.
Ethan,
Tristan. So basically, like, it's been on your mind lately. I know for me, management has been on my mind lately. Like, I've really been thinking about getting into managing.
like what makes a good manager?
Yeah, like, all that. Like, what makes a good manager? Like, how do y'all feel a manager can be one professional and transparent to like personal lives as well? 'Cause I feel like that's one thing. And another thing to me is more like transparency and equity, like making sure everyone has the same amount of pay, same work level, and just making sure everybody knows what they getting into. I feel like a lot of companies don't do that. What about y'all?
My personal opinion, at least like for our manager, communication, just understanding everybody's background, because everybody comes from different walks of the world. So just when you understand how you can communicate with them and how you can connect them with other people, other workers, you probably work better together.
I like that too. And piggyback off that, I say maximization, just getting the best out of your employees and things of that nature, and trying to get them to achieve their goals not only within the company but for the success of the team. So
Yeah.
And the way we can do that is like give rewards for like good hard working employees. We could show that we care about employees by paying them what they should be worth.
When you say rewards, like what would be some rewards? Like show reward that for you.
Like you can get them pay raises every 3 months.
Like a bonus or something. Okay.
I feel that, like, good benefits off that too. Do y'all feel like in the jobs y'all had now, y'all managers are like transparent with y'all, like y'all could communicate to them y'all personal problems, that way they could have like an understanding of, okay, if you need this day off or you coming here because of this reason, alright, I know like I gotta leave him alone today, just let him know what he gotta do, let him go on about his day, or this person has X, Y, and Z coming up and they need these days off, and they let me know in advance so I can hurry up and get those days free time. Yeah, I feel like I have those type of good managers.
Somewhat.
Yeah,
Some-
definitely.
depends.
Definitely right now. I feel like I do. I feel like me personally, like being in college, I feel like a manager, like that should be like the norm. Like being transparent with your employee. Because sometimes I may like have class or something, like my teacher might not let me know at a certain time, but like just letting them know like, hey, I'll be 5 minutes late, and they being okay with that. Like I feel like that should go on like a lot more. Like where like people in my position, like just trying to work and be an employee. But yeah, I definitely feel like I have a transparent manager right now.
For me to piggyback off that, so like I'm not employed right now, but my last employer, like he really wasn't texting back and like I needed to like do something or something. And or like he just lacked communication. He wasn't transparent. When I asked him about some days off, he wouldn't really reply. And then I would have to wait until the schedule come out to see if I got the days off.
So yeah, basically with that, how does like equity in theory make employees react to like pay gaps that like they're not getting, they feel like treated and paid fairly compared to other people who are in the same work field?
I feel like it's just based off the employee, like what that puts into the workplace, and versus like what they're getting out of it. So like if I'm just like, if I'm busting my behind working for you, and then there's someone like, let's say for example Ethan, and like Ethan's just, he comes to work, goes home, whatever, and he's making more than me, that probably make me feel like I'm undervalued. So I probably will end up working less and putting in less effort, just because if I'm busting my behind and I'm making less than him, why wouldn't? So I feel like it's not really just about the money in that situation, it's also about like your work being recognized for what you're doing for them.
I feel that. So basically, let anybody can speak when they feel like it. How do you go about that? Do you try and find a new job? Do you go to your manager and express how you feel? Do you try to find another work field within that company that may pay more or pay the same amount? How do you feel like you can move on or like keep wanting to be with this company, keep that same interest level with the company?
I think it's important to just have a dialogue with management and just to be able to make sure we can have your concerns heard and first talked out about first. I feel like after that then you can see about other steps with other jobs, looking at other areas and things of that nature. But I feel like first you try to have open dialogue with management or the manager or boss have say.
Do y'all think a lot of companies, like people in companies, don't do that?
For sure.
Yeah, I would say, like working at Harris Teeter compared to now working at Target, like the communication is just way better at Target. Like the more understanding what you work. I don't care if something comes up. They don't care if something comes up in 2 days. They know school is first. If I come to them about it, they don't necessarily get mad. I guess due to the fact that they're such a big company, they just tell me, hey, school is first. When else can you come in? What time do you want to come in and try and like make time? So it definitely, I feel like it definitely is like a difference. I would say. So I ain't gonna lie, those are all like good topics, good point of views and everything. Like I feel like definitely there are a lot of things in the workforce that are not talked about, within companies or just in general. And do anybody got like anything they want to like share or even like may ask or just want to talk about within the company?
Yeah, I got you. First company we could definitely talk about is JP Morgan. They've been publishing pay gap reports in some countries, but they were late filing the required data in California. So what does that say about the operational discipline?
Shoot, I definitely think it raises questions. I think it raises questions about the urgency within the company. Like I would say this, like if employees don't see a company getting on top of a problem, like right then and there, they see that there's not urgency to fix the problem, then it's like a lot of employees may not like trust that company with anything else, It could go from the employees to now the customers. So it just really messes a lot of things up because with the lack of, you could say, urgency, is this a branding standpoint or is this like a strategy standpoint, Like are you in it for the right reasons or are just here for like a good time, basically?
Okay. And like, what would y'all think the perception versus saying like a pay grade is over 100 years away? How would y'all feel about that?
It seems as if the company knows the problem, like does not take care of it fast enough.
Okay.
I feel that like. So let me ask you this: if you was to work at a company, like you giving it your all, like just trying to get that raise, boom boom, a problem comes up within the system, and the customer has a problem, they come to you about it, and you're like, wow, I never seen it, so let me go get my manager, and then the manager just like shows like lack of interest, lack of urgency within that problem. How do you feel about that?
Probably made me mad because as a manager, I feel like you should already know what to do if the problem like acquires and stuff.
You said lack of interest. Me personally, I feel like I would be like unmotivated to work. Like if I see my manager like he really don't care about the situation, like it's whatever, like it's really gonna motivate me in the future to like really, kind of have the same attitude. Like, why am I caring if they don't really care? You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel like that affects like 4 years employee.
I really haven't done too much diving into like the JP Morgan case, but like I know Amazon is like probably another like big like problem. I don't really know like too much on it, like as far as like what is within the problem, but I know like some people they go on the internet and talk about like how it's not fair with certain like genders of workers. So I mean just thinking about that, like anybody like got anything about that?
I know they've been talking about job codes and the job codes, how that's been a big issue.
That was such a big issue. Amazon worked for them.
I mean, Amazon, they tie pay, promotion, and career opportunities entirely to the job role. And so if women are hired into lower levels despite doing smaller work, then the pay gap becomes structural.
Okay, so how could women do comparable work but have lower titles?
I was just thinking, like, I mean, really, it's like I was doing research on that actually, and it was like research shows that women are often elevated on past performance, and that men are based on potential. And it's like to me that's like so men is based on potential, but you do women on past performance, you should do men on past performance as well. I feel like that way it's like a form of fairness and like a form of like compatibility between knowing like what you get into. Like if you're doing men on potential and like let's say last time I ain't really do nothing, my job fired me, but you ain't gonna really kind of look into it. You look into why the women need this job compared to why the men came to looking for a job, you know?
So what do you think we could do to like solve this problem?
As a manager,
Yeah.
as managers really like you gotta have a fairness. Like you gotta have a same like you can't have one gender doing this and then the next one doing that. Like that's not fair towards the company, because I feel like women just work just as hard as men, and if you're gonna do men of potential, you should do women of potential as well.
So it should be an equal thing.
Like any other, I feel like any other companies I want to talk about, I feel like there's probably a lot of companies.
It's
out
good
there.
one, yeah.
For real?
What you think about that?
You said it good. Alright, cut this out.
Bro, I was about to zoom in on the question for you.
Really like companies I think just need to get a better understanding of communicating and quoting, need to also take initiative to act as well.
Speaking of that, like, I got a smooth little question. So, like, if you was to start a company, right, and you get your employees and whatnot, like, where would you start as far as, like, making the system to where you can pay everybody for it?
That's a great question.
I feel like, man, where should companies start? I think they should start from one. Need to start from having management. You also need like an HR team. I feel like,
That's what you mean.
yeah.
To be honest, it's just honesty, bro. Telling people the truth, not trying to cut corners, doing the right thing by your customers. And it's just, like you said, transparency.
I feel that.
Rock with double. How do you feel like companies can do, or companies can be transparency, or how far with the companies? How do you feel like companies can be transparent with their pay? How they communicate that?
Straight off from the interview, you can tell them what they likely to pay, and how, and like what levels.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. Basically, you just say straight up from the interview, let them know what they're getting into, so that way they don't have no surprises. Like, hey, I'm paying you based on this compared to someone I'm paying off of this. You know what I'm saying? Like with the whole Amazon thing. If you tell a man he's coming in here, I'm paying you based on potential. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I'll pay range within 15 to 18. I'm gonna give you 18 because I'm gonna have you do all this heavy duty stuff. So due to the fact that you're young, 25, in your prime, you look fitted, boom, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pay you the full 18. Compared to you have a female in here who maybe, you know what I'm saying, doesn't look up to par, you know what I'm saying? You're paying her based off of past performance to where she may have came from a beat up job like McDonald's. So it's like, based off her past performance, alright, boom, I'm gonna just give you 16, you know? So it's like things like that, definitely you should let them know ahead of time.
I feel like you should also tell them like what it takes for them to get to the next level, as far as like getting promoted and whatnot. So that way they're not just doing extra work and just like in the loss about it, like they're doing that for a reason. So then like if they are doing extra work and they communicate that and you see that, then it's like they hit that requirement that you talked about during that hiring process. So it's almost like not owed to them, but they've earned it.
I rock with that.
What do you think is like the biggest lesson that we learned from today, just doing all of this?
That managers should be transparent with pay. You shouldn't discriminate based on gender or any and everything.
I'll agree with that. Yeah. To sum it up, really just be like basically honesty, transparency, and better communication. Because a lot of these companies we talked about, they seem to have a lot of bad communication, and I guess it could be well team members, proper training, but definitely communication should be better.
Speaking on that, what do you think would be a next step for these companies? Like, what would be like a realistic next step?
To go back to the last question, yeah, I'd say like today, like based on our research, it's definitely like a problem that's more looked over. That's something that's like really going on in a lot more places than we think. Like JP Morgan, Amazon, and Apple, those are like really big companies. And it's just kind of crazy to like really think about how much of that that's going on in this society. So yeah. And then what was the question after?
Just what would be like a realistic next step for these companies, like following through?
Realistic next step.
Develop proper training in my eyes. Like, realistically, develop proper training, whether it's the videos, whether it's people who's training as well, because sometimes